The third most debilitating and troubling little voice issue is one that is very near and dear to my heart, because I've seen great people with great talent, great aspiration, but just can't get to the finish line. Because there are some people, number three is there are some people that just can't win. You know, you've seen them. Maybe that's you. You work hard, pushing hard, doing the right things, but for some reason, don't get it across the finish line. Can't quite lose enough weight. Don't quite make enough money. Don't quite get the relationships that they want. Aren't quite satisfied with what they have. Just cannot seem to get into the winner's circle. Now, there's a reason for that, and part of the reason was taught to me by one of my great teachers, a fellow by the name of Mac Newton. Mac Newton is probably the only person in North America currently that is an 8th degree Taekwondo black belt master. He's also one of the only people besides Deion Sanders, to my knowledge, that has both a Super Bowl ring and a World Series ring, because he was a conditioning coach for the Oakland A's and the Dallas Cowboys and a lot of major league teams, and works with professional athletes all over the world. He's 67 years old as I speak, and he looks like he's 37. And what he said is this. He said this. If you remember, we're going to go back to that old flip chart where we talked about results, behavior, mindset, and conditioning. But what I didn't tell you, what Max says, what drives all of this is something called your self-concept. That's right, your self-concept. It's how you see yourself. And what he says, and I want you to listen to this really closely, okay? So bring everybody else into the room that you need to. I'll wait a minute. Get them in here. All right, good. This is the point I want them all to hear. That your results, I want you to repeat it. Say it. Your results. Good, thank you. Your results can never, how often? Say it. That's right. Your results can never exceed your what? Your self-concept. Can never exceed your self-concept. He said he has worked with greatest athletes, great talent, vertical jump, speed, 40-yard sprint speed. Unbelievable. But they could not make it to the winner's circle. They never became the true professional because something about their self-concept. They didn't see themselves that way. Let me explain a little bit further. Max says your self-concept is divided into three categories. Number one are your self-ideals. Who do you want to be? Who are your role models in life, in business, in relationships, in integrity, and love, whatever it is. Like for myself, I admire people like John F. Kennedy because he had great charisma, leadership skills. Martin Luther King because he was a great motivator with a dream. My grandfather, he was a great entrepreneur. My father because of honor and integrity. Now those are pieces of those people. I don't want all of their personality, but just those pieces that I want in my portfolio of who I want to become. Does that make sense? So that's part one. The problem is most people don't have ideals. Most people don't have role models. The second part of the self-concept is your self-image, how you see yourself. What do you see when you look in the mirror? Do you see yourself as a fat, overweight, lazy person, or do you see yourself as a great, honorable person doing the best you can to be the best you can be and working on it and highly disciplined? Same image, your self-concept. And number three, most important of the self-concept, is your self-esteem. Do you even like yourself? What Max said is he said, I've worked with a lot of great people that had it all going for them, but at some level, they beat themselves up so badly, they didn't even like themselves. They fundamentally didn't care for themselves. And he says, if that's you, there's one thing to say, I like myself. So say it. Come on, say it louder. I like myself. One more time. I like myself. Say it 3 times. Excellent. Now, I know your little voice says, this is crazy. What's it got to do with anything? But my experience is this. The reason people don't win is because their self-concept is not big enough to get them there. For example, if you say to yourself, I'm not good in sales, you know what? I don't care how hard you work, how good you are, how great your product or service is, you're never going to get rich in business. Now, you may get rich some other way, but not in business, because sales equals income, and you have to know how to sell to be in that arena. That's all there is to it. Say, I want to lose weight, but you say you want to lose weight, but you're saying, but I come from a big bone family. It's in my blood. It's part of my genetics. I don't care what kind of a diet you go on. You are never going to be slim and trim until you change that self-concept. And there are ways to do that, which we're going to work on. Okay? So here's what I want you to do. I want you to go to your workbook, and in your 4 problems portion, I want you to list your self-ideals in the various areas of your life. That's right, self-ideals. I want you to make a list of your role models. Maybe you know them, maybe you don't, maybe you've read about them. Don't use role models as the latest person on the front page of the newspaper or in a tabloid. Pick your role models wisely. Who are these people throughout history in your life that you don't want to model their entire personality, but just this part, and make yourself a portfolio. Do that now and just notice how that feels. That becomes your new goal. That becomes the model and the destination of your self-concept. At that point, you'll produce the results that you want.